Mikel, a point against a really stubborn Forest side, but how disappointed are you not to win the game, particularly with Man City dropping points earlier as well?
Particularly for us, because we came here to win the game, and at the end we haven't managed to do that. And credit to them, the manner that they are organised and the game that they want to provoke constantly. But we knew that when you have 4 big chances that we have with Martinelli, open goal, Declan Rice, Mikel Merino, Bukayo Saka, at the end you have to find the margin to win the game, because again we haven't conceded a single shot on target. But yeah, disappointing not to win it.
So your reflection on the game is more that you missed the opportunities in front of goal that could have won the game for you?
Well, I think it's clear, because we haven't conceded anything.
When you look at the substitutions you made, you obviously brought Leandro Trossard on at half-time and another 3 substitutions within 10 minutes of the second half. What were you looking to change at that point? How were they frustrating you?
No, it wasn't a matter of frustration. It's trying to find other ways to open them up as well, to find the solutions. Leo brought something else, then we brought Gavi, Bukayo as well with the header. The clear penalty, obviously, that we had not to forget. That is a clear penalty in the box that is not been given. So that's the margins.
Yeah, I saw you gesturing to the 4th official that you thought that was a handball. That's one you're referring to.
I saw it live, I saw it here, and I saw it now again. And yeah, it is very unnecessary, but he brings the ball in with the hand, so it's a clear penalty.
Has the referee spoken to you? Did the 4th official give any reason? Obviously, people are going to look at this as a missed opportunity for Arsenal to go 9 points clear, but can you actually look back at this potentially as a really good point taken at a tough place to come?
Well, we have to do it. Do that, try to learn and improve, and the league shows how difficult it is. Nobody's winning, because it's so tough. And especially when we have the situation that we had today, we have to put them away, and there are other areas as well that you have to give credit to the opponent.
Up next, it's Inter Milan. You're top of the Champions League table, so how do you approach that game with a big game against Manchester United in the league to come next weekend as well?
Yeah, we'll recover from this one, and after tomorrow we will start preparing that.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thank you.
Yeah, Inter away next for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta there saying it was a clear penalty that his side should have had after that Ola Aina handball there. He said he brings the ball in with his hand, Stephen. The Premier League Match Centre said it came off his shoulder first and the arm was in a natural position.
I think it'll split opinion, this one. I think his body action is natural coming towards the ball, because he has got to turn into the pitch. I think you would feel a little bit hard done by an Arsenal lad that hasn't at least had a look at in terms of going to the screen. But I don't think it's a real clear and obvious mistake from the referee in the first place, because we've seen it in slow motion and it looks worse than in real time. So I think it would have been a little bit soft and unfair on Forest, in my opinion. But I can understand why the manager's frustrated, Mikel Arteta.
Do you see it coming off his shoulder first, Martin, and that arm being in a natural position?
To be honest, they're 2 separate things. There's enough of a gap between, it hits his shoulder, and then he seems to cup the ball. He seems to move his arm around. Now, maybe from this angle, they thought, oh, maybe it wasn't. But certainly the one before, it looks to me like...
I think Anderson's as well, the pressure of Anderson as well moves his body even more to it as well. I think it would have been really harsh on Forest.
I would have liked the referee to go on and have a look, though, to see
but
if he...
Well, she would, you're an Arsenal fan. We know that, man.
Yeah, we know
also,
that.
Martin, we do keep asking for this high bar, don't we, to say that we want the referees.
We're asking for the right decisions.
We don't want too many interventions in games, and that bar has to be high before the referee goes to a monitor. Would that be high enough?
Subjectivity, it all comes down to someone.
Going to the screen an awful lot more than we already are, though, if for situations like that, like ricochets or motions where your body's going to, I think we'd be given a lot more penalties.
Yeah,
if it was to go to the monitor.
Yeah.
Well, are you a Liverpool fan?
Of course, yeah.
Well, you'd have wanted that when you was penalty.
No, listen, I think there's a shout there. I don't think it's as clear as Martin and Mikel Arteta are saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's blatant and clear, especially in real time for the referee's point of view. And I think you've got to be careful you're not clutching at straws a little bit, because that's not the reason why they haven't got maximum points today. The reason is because they were very wasteful in the first half and the keepers made a world-class save. I thought Arsenal performance was good today. They controlled large parts of the game. They created enough chances to win the game. But I think if the focus from an Arsenal point of view is just on that decision, I think the clutch.
These are the chances from the second half, Martin. Did they have to do better with them?
I think the Saka chances, the save from the goalkeeper that we're just going to see now is like things are against you when a keeper banks a save like that. But there were enough gilt-edge opportunities. Stephen's right. We were arguing here about a penalty, but you take whatever's on offer. And it might have been one of those days where you get it opens a door for you to win a football match. It certainly didn't come from set pieces. I thought Forest dealt with that very well. And it's just that killer instinct. And maybe the chances early on for certainly Martinelli came a bit too soon.
I thought that was a big chance as well, Moreno.
And he normally gets you out of trouble, doesn't he, that player?
Yeah.
It's an 11th clean sheet for them, though. So if you're not at your best and you're not going to take all 3 points from the game, at least
it's important you don't lose the game. And they've limited Forest to everything. As I say, they've controlled large parts. It was a decent performance from Arsenal today. It just lacked a bit of that killer instinct. And I think it's the Martinelli chance, the one that hits him on the heel. That is a side foot pass into the far corner. I think 9 times out of 10, most players at an Arsenal level should be taking that chance. That was
we
the
were right
chance.
next to it, weren't we?
That was the big chance.
It looked as if he was.
That should have been a goal, and then they maybe would have went on to more things because Forest have to come out from the low block and be a bit more adventurous. But while the game's 0-0, it allowed Sean Dyche and his team to really be disciplined and stay in and take the space away from Arsenal.
It's Inter away next. Arsenal in a brilliant position in the Champions League, Martin. Won every game so far. But then it's Manchester United after that, which all of a sudden is looking like a much harder game for you.
Manchester United is always a great game for the Arsenal fans. They can't wait to get them back to the Emirates. Fantastic win for them today. Arsenal go 1 point above City. As you said, it's been a great weekend for Aston Villa, who now have to make it count against Everton, and they play Newcastle, your favourite team, the following week. So, Man City having Wolves next. There's lots twists and turns to come. You just got to win the games when they're there to be won. And I thought Arsenal missed a great opportunity here today.
Would you be looking at it as an Arsenal player going into that game against Man United now as a chance to show that you are a level above Manchester City this season after what they've just done to them in the derby today?
Well, I think from an Arsenal point of view, I think the manager and the players will just be focusing on Arsenal and the games and the fixtures that are in front of them. I think the Champions League will be a nice break from the league for them. Another big competition where they're expected to go and do well in. But they'll welcome Manchester United to.
They've got
the
7
Emirates
days
next
now.
week, and they'll be
United are
really
out of every
confident.
Competition, aren't they?
But they'll be really confident at home, Arsenal, that they can go and put in a performance and beat Manchester United. But they're going to have a Manchester United team coming with a bit more confidence and a bit more belief.
Well, guys, thank you very much for your company tonight. Martin, you didn't win, but Arsenal 7 points clear. And the good news is you are still Arsenal's all-time top Premier League scorer here at the City Ground.
I was more than happy to lose that.
Sean Dyche there praising his players as well for their commitments and keeping the shape today. What could have been a 9-point gap at the top of the table is not right now. And I want to look at the next couple of fixtures coming from Arsenal because it's very, very interesting, the games that they have coming up. And we could see a very different looking top of the table.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've been brilliant in the Premier League and the Champions League, but you think about Inter in the Champions League, they're a very good side, top of Serie A. Then you've got United, who under Michael Carrick have been terrific. You think about Leeds away, Chelsea, Sunderland, they're not, they're not guarantees, so that's why the United game is massive. Today, I think a draw's fine, don't you think, Ray?
Yeah, absolutely.
Take the point. If you win at home against Man United, then you're back in a great position. Still 7 points at the moment. I know Villa play tomorrow. They're in a good spot, Arsenal. They just got to continue on the run.
Yeah, there are
of course you want to win every game, don't you?
Yeah.
And that's why he's disappointed. Mikel Arteta has been used to winning games of football, but you look at it as well, he's got another point on the board, away from home. So Man United game is going to be huge, though, because how well they played today. Can they do that again at the Emirates? It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, some tricky games to come. What's your thinking in terms of that Manchester United game you said at the Emirates? They've got to get a victory.
There's always been a lot of rivalry between both teams. Even when I played, it was always a real feisty game. But the way Manchester United played today was amazing. The crowd was absolutely unbelievable. The atmosphere was brilliant, and it's going to be a hell of a game.
One from Saka.
Yeah, he had a fabulous season last season. This season has been a bit tricky. They've had a few managers. Back line hasn't been as stable, but he makes a fantastic save. I love this ball down the side for Declan. Stands it up. It's a great header from Saka, but he's probably got enough time, hasn't he, Ray, to kind of get across and save it. It's a great header and a great save.
It's a perfect header from Saka, because when the ball's coming, you head it back the way it come, and it's aiming for that corner, and it's a real fingertip save. And a really big save, because if that goes in, suddenly it could be a real 2 or 3-0 game, but that give everybody a little bit of a lift, the players, and brilliant save, and that's what you need. But you need your goalkeepers to come up with saves like that if you're going to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah, so a huge save there from Sal's, huge contribution, player of the match award for him as well. Ray, I want to just remind you that the last time Arsenal were 9 points clear, because they could have been 9 points clear today, you were in the team.
Is that right?
It was the Invincibles season.
It was a long time ago, but
it was the
Invincibles, yeah, 2004.
It could have been the case today. What does it tell you that they weren't able to go 9 points clear?
Well, it's not the end of the world. I mean, you don't lose the game, and at times Forest did push and had a couple of opportunities, but it's a difficult place to play, City Ground, and they really was up for it tonight. But Mikel will be disappointed because that was a big statement to make, to go 9 points clear. But 7 points is still a good position to be in. I know Villa have got to play tomorrow and they could close it to 4 points. But I think the lads will be disappointed, but now all sights will be on their next game. That's all you can do. You can't change what's happened. You can say we should have created more chances at times and got in behind the Forest defence a little bit better. But as you're walking off that pitch, you're disappointed. But tomorrow, you forget about that and we'll look for the next game. That's all you can do.
Back-to-back goalless draws for them in the Premier League. The last time that happened, Mikel Arteta was still a player.
Good stat, Jules.
Oh, you're doing very good, Jules, today.
Well, we have a great stats department, I have to say.
Do you know what? I wouldn't say it's the pressure and the magnitude of it, but it's different now. They're not chasing. You know, they're the leaders. They've been the best team in the Premier League, best team in the Champions League.
He would be really disappointed if that was given.
Well, the official word from Match Centre is that moment you just mentioned now is because it comes off his shoulder first and then onto the hand, I think, is the reason why it wasn't given as a penalty. It would have been pretty harsh.
Yeah, and he's getting bumped by multiple players. It's coming off his shoulder. He's kind of leaning forward. I mean, let's be honest. We want pens for the right reasons, not just for that, and I don't think it would have been.
If that was given, I think Sean Dyche's interview would have been interesting to hear because he would have been really disappointed, and I'm sure Mikel Arteta would have been in the same position, so definitely the right decision.
Mikel, obviously a frustrating afternoon for you. What are your feelings immediately after?
Yeah, we obviously wanted to win the game. We knew the game was going to be very tough, very close as well, for the way that they play. We created 4 big chances and a clear penalty, but we weren't able to win the game.
I want to talk about the penalty because I felt as I was watching it that the only decision was whether the ball was in play or not. Yeah. I didn't feel handball was even in doubt. It clearly looked like it.
Well, I just seen the reps. I think it's a clear intention to kill the ball inside, so it's a clear penalty. So I don't understand why it's not been given.
2 league games running now where you haven't managed to just find that little bit of magic or the final ball or the finish. That's frustrating because you're in a great position, but it could have been better.
It is, and we could have been better, but as well is what's happening all around the league to every single team. So, we have to improve and do better, and especially when you create 4 big chances, the one we have created, you have to put them away.
And you went through all the options you have. You have more options probably in your Arsenal squad this season than you've ever had. Do you feel that all those guys are they in a position to just give that little bit of spark, or is there a bit of a dip at this time because there's so many games?
No, for sure they are, and so willing to do it. You have to produce that moment. We have produced certain moments. Credit to them as well because they are very well organized and they disrupt your momentum in a really clever way as well all the time. And you need to cope with that. We knew that, and we tried to at the end find a goal because I don't think we conceded a single shot again. But that's the margins, and we didn't find the way to win it.
My last question is, had Saka's header gone in? What a fantastic header that was. It's a great save as well, by the way. But Bukayo Saka with a kind of number 9 centre-forward header is a great header.
Yes, it is. Or the big chance that Gabi has with an empty goal, or Declan as well, or Mikel Merino has as well. So, that's the moment that you have to put the ball in the back of the net and win the game, and unfortunately we haven't managed to do that.
Thank you. Good luck. Thanks.
Yeah, what really stands out for me there is the fact that he says it was a clear penalty.
I won't say clear. I'm not too sure about that, but obviously he's frustrated and he's looked back. He's got a monitor in front of him. He thinks it's been handball. It's come off his shoulder, rolled down, but he's got to take into consideration all the people bumping them guys and all that sort of stuff. So I wouldn't have said it was clear, but. I'm looking at the old school when I played, probably, and that would have never been a penalty. But maybe the rules have changed now, and it was. I don't know, but I would have been really disappointed if I'm Sean Dyche and that's given as a penalty.
Well, he thinks it was the right. I'm not surprised that Arteta said clear penalty and he said it was the right call.
Well, the thing is, somebody say there's one side and there's the other side, and then you meet somewhere in the middle.
The truth.
Or the rest of the middle. I don't know. But, I mean, I can understand where Mikel's coming from one aspect of the fact that it looks like Olaina's arm moves a fraction kind of here. It like comes a little bit towards the ball. It's like his elbow tucks in. So that's the only part that you could maybe say. But I just think, again, he's being bumped from two different people. I just think it would have been incredibly harsh. We're talking about a title race and a relegation battle. You know, I think you gotta win both. In that sense, you gotta stay up. And I think Arsenal, if they're gonna win this league, which they should do, they need to do more in the game and maybe not worry about that little moment, because they can. I think they can do more in the game as well.
Seeing the right opportunity, but underneath that interview, you can see he's delighted with his team, especially on the back of Wrexham. You know, we covered that game. We covered that game. You've seen his interview. He was very frustrated with the players out of possession, very frustrated with his squad players not taking an opportunity and really fighting for the cause, and the disappointment of going out of the FA Cup. He will be delighted with that point, because I think anyone that comes up against this Arsenal side, especially lower down the table, if you can take something out of the game, it's a big bonus.
He just said there about 4 points from the last two Premier League games, and obviously that upset in between the FA Cup. But I was at that game, Forest. They were so much better than West Ham, and I think that would have given them a great deal of confidence that, look, they've had a close look at who's around them. It's between Forest, West Ham. Leeds look like they're now starting to move away. The other teams below them look like they're gone, really. They're going to get relegated, and I think that would have given them a boost. But to play that well against what looks like the team everyone's talking about as being the next champions, then that will also, give them a shot of confidence.
What did they do so right defensively today?
Well, I think that what they were prepared to do was let Arsenal have the ball, sit on the edge of their own box, be nice and compact. I mean, this is Morella who doesn't really attack the ball well, but look, he gets back, he's clever. He does a little arm on the striker, gets a really good foot in a nice block.
You know, these are moments that eventually get Forest a really important point. You know, last-ditch tackles, doing your defensive job, doing your responsibility out of possession. There they are, hunting in packs. This is, if not the most dangerous team in the Premier League at the moment. But you can see there, look, the slide tackling, the fight and the battling away. I thought Sean Dyche had them really well drilled. He didn't give them much space. He allowed certain players in the Arsenal team to have the ball, but when it got to the dangerous players, they were jumping all over them.
Good in the duels, weren't they?
Being really aggressive,
Strong,
really good in the
tough.
duels. And there he is applauding his team, and rightly so.
Olaina, huge to have back for them as well, who's been missing for a while with injury as well. And
Definitely.
Also on the other side, Nico Williams, given the threat Arsenal posed
yeah,
down
so
that
it's an
side.
interesting thing when they swapped them over. I think it was under the last manager, or one before, they swapped them over and they were much better. Aina had been out for a long time, been a big miss, and he's back in there, and that four together, they've got a belief in one another, that they can see things out, but they've got that workload in front of them, and that was really important to keep that clean sheet today.